What's up, Definians? Hope you guys are doing awesome. So excited about our upcoming Polygon integration. So I just wanted to continue making these videos. So let's get into it. First one will be beginner Guild Wars tactics. Let's do a brief overview about it first for the new people. So in this 10v10 action-packed game mode, you can compete against other guilds. You have features like the Town Hall, where you can accept and kick members, change guild settings, change your icon. You have the guild shop, where you can buy different items for using in the game, in the guild game, or outside too, such as with the Nightmare Orbs. You have the missions, which you can complete to gain EXP, more guild points, to buy more items, etc. So has a very social emphasis to it. So you can see all these different items here. Then you can arbitrage with the market too to see what you can buy, sell, trade, etc. Then for the actual battles themselves, stage 1 is where you get placings into stage 2. So the more battles you win, the higher chance you get into stage 2. And the more battles you win, the higher the prizes you get too. So you get a bunch of really good goodies, like you get gold particles, like things to level up your weapons, and you get a bunch of other stuff, and those are very valuable. So would highly recommend trying to win all of your battles. Then for stage 2, it's a knockout tournament with the top 16 team, so this will get very intense, very tough. We just had a battle with Singularity, and they're always a tough team to fight, so very fun. Then yeah, so for this you have various teams, which I'll go into more in the PowerPoint in a bit. Oh, you can see Singularity there, Lamau. So you have different items that you can utilize, but I'll break down the tutorial into beginner, intermediate, and advanced, so that you guys can have different strategies. So points are awarded every 12 hours, 5 times, so 60 hours in total. So if you control Command Center, you'll get points for that. If you control Southeast Sentry Tower, you get points for that at the 12-hour mark. Then each guild also starts out with their own portal, in which they can station the teams there. So there is a tactic to this, but I'll get into it. I think it's more advanced for that. We'll get to it later. Then you have team formations too, where each one will give varying benefits. If you put yours into the win team, then you'll get more speed, fire, more attack, water, more HP, lightning, more crit, earth, more damage reduction. So you can play according to that with your team. So screw it, I'll just give it to every year. I think it's more intermediate, but for Defina Aegis, they tend to have more HP with their buff, so maybe you can put Defina Aegis team in water. Maybe Orboros, they're more geared towards offensive, so you can put in fire. Then maybe you put Prometheus Fire with their ult attack into more lightning, and then Dothspot, since they already have crit, maybe you put them to fire or wind so that they attack first, and etc. Then you get different action points. You get 50 for each team. Then 10 points is usually the one that you use for attacking or defending something. Then you can replenish it too. Then for fatigue, if you get attack or you attack someone, then double it up, then that's a 10% damage reduction, and you get 10% more damage dealt to you. Then you can check out the leaderboards here as they rank for personal and guild rankings too. Shout out to Access and Mochuk. They got Hall of Glory, where you can like the guild once a day to receive some awesome rewards. Then you have different things. We'll discuss these more into like intermediate ones, but like Mist Scroll, Airship License, Guild Flag, Rattling Horn, Victory Feast, Airdrop Supplies, and etc. But let's get into some beginner Guild Wars tactics. The first one would be to swoop and defend. So as soon as the round begins, you can conquer as many buildings as possible from your base all the way to the other team's base. Then you place your best teams on most valuable buildings, such as command center, portals, academies, plants, etc. This will allow you to receive buffs from adjacent buildings to make your defense even stronger. So a tip you could use is that maybe you can use a guild flag on your most valuable buildings, such as the command center and portals, so that you get the defense buffs from the buildings next to you, and you have the guild flag so that they will have a very hard time getting your building. Second tactic would be the wait and swoop, kind of the opposite of the first tactic, where you wait until the final 10 minutes of the match, then you conquer as many buildings as you can from the base to the other team's base. This will allow you to take advantage of the 10-minute protection buff. So when you conquer a building, you get 10 minutes where your building will be protected, so you can utilize this near the end. Then for your conquered buildings, because you have the 10-minute protection buff, you can place your weakest teams at these conquered buildings so that you can utilize your strongest teams to conquer even more buildings. For this one, you can utilize Rallying Horn to increase your team stats on the most valuable buildings. So if you want to take the command center, portals, etc., you can use it on there. The third tactic is called maximum efficiency. So you can use one airship license in the final 30 minutes of the game to surprise the enemy. So if you use airship license, you can attack anywhere. So maybe you can't switch it up. You attack some high value buildings, they move their teams there, and then you wait a bit, and then you attack another building, then you conquer those buildings. So these could be very fun to play with. Then you place all of your guild's teams at these buildings to defend them. So you kind of play around a bit, where you let your opponent take the smaller buildings worth less points. Then you use guild flags on your most valuable buildings, or the opposite, Rallying Horn on any buildings you want to attack. So you could also use fake out too. This is more intermediate, but then maybe you put a Rallying Horn in a building, a bunch of opponents move their teams there, and then you fake it out, you steal another building, you have your team attack everything at once. And other beginner tips would be to create a guild with your friends and the most active people, since it's not necessarily about having the most OP teams, at least for the initial guild battles, but it's more about being active and being able to strategize. Then second tip would be to don't give up facing a strong team. Maybe you can learn from their tactics, and same thing for maybe a weaker team too. You can try experimenting new tactics so that you can constantly learn. Then third tip would be to figure out what your team is really great at and to capitalize on that. So if your team is really great at defense, then maybe you can capitalize on that. Maybe great at offense, you capitalize on that. Maybe have great coordination, etc. So I remember playing against the Bazooka Guild. Shout out to them. They were extremely well coordinated, so that was their edge. For acid lines, they call us acid sneaky lines for a reason, because we figure out how to have sneaky tricks up their sleeve. Shout outs to it's mostly Narc and Nicolay coming up with those strategies. Then trying to think of other ones too, but yeah, those, and Singularity too, they're very smart, they're very adaptable, so find out your team's strengths and really capitalize on them. So let me know if you guys have any questions, suggestions, or comments, and yeah, looking forward to the next video. Talk to you guys soon.